Good morning, everyone, and welcome to worship and Happy New Year. It is so good to see familiar faces and new faces. We're glad this can be a place of solace and hope for people near and far. Whoever you are, wherever you Zoom from, and whatever is in your heart today, we welcome you just the way you are. My name is Frank Dukes, and I'm honored to serve as worship weaver this morning, along with our hardworking tech people, Sean Scally and Axa Carrier, who are working behind the scenes for us. Our leader for Joys and Sorrows is Christine Gresser, and I'll ask her to put the link in the chat box now. And Reverend Linda is preaching today. And now I offer these words adapted from Reverend Kathleen Mateague to call our hearts and minds into a spirit of worship. We come together to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives and to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment. May we find in this time awareness and gratitude, and may we feel in one another's presence a reflection of the memories and heartbreak, the hopes and dreams that make this time together so meaningful. So welcome everyone, wherever you're from. Now please join us now in our opening hymn, which is Come Sing a Song With Me.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
We are the Dukes and the Bajar Dukes family, and we are lighting the chalice this morning, the symbol of our UU faith.
We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs.
We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
We
light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism.
This is a church of open minds.
This is a church of helping hands.
This is a church of loving hearts.
Our congregation's chalice has been lit and will have its own screen throughout the service. If you have a chalice in your home, please light it now.
shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Even in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. Even in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. Even in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When I see my neighbor coming, I'm gonna let it shine. When I see my neighbor coming, I'm gonna let it shine. When I see my neighbor coming, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a basket, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a basket, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a basket, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't you try to put it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Don't you try to put it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Don't you try to put it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
Rosh Hashana literally means head of the year, and it is the Jewish holiday of the new year. This is a celebration of all that can be new and created with intention and thoughtfulness. It is a holiday and time for people to be renewed, and with it, reflect upon what we would like to make better, learn, and how to give to others. There are certain symbols, foods, and traditions to help us consider the past as well as the future.
Challah is round instead of braided, as a reminder of the circle of life and endless possibilities.
Apples are dipped in honey, and raisins are put in many things as well. Honey is also added to many desserts to celebrate the sweetness of life.
Pomegranates, with all of its seeds, can symbolize possibilities that are endless, blessings, as well as dreams for all of us.
The shofar or horn is blown at different rates to symbolize looking inward and to celebrate being mindful.
A ceremony called tashlish is often performed, where bits of bread are thrown into water or stones are cast into a river or creek. This is to help us think about what in the last year we wish we would have done differently or even better. Rosh Hashana is a holiday that helps us prepare and go forward to do our best, but also to remember that none of us are perfect. Shana Tova, Happy New Year.
Thank you, Margot. Happy New Year, everyone. We have launched our new church year, and it's important to acknowledge bless, and commission those who've been elected to be your leaders, your Board of Trustees. They are the Chair and President, Lori Craddock, the Vice President, Elizabeth Breeden, the Secretary, Beth Jager-Landis, the Treasurer, Stan Walker, and at-large members, Kelsey Cowger, Brett Gastinger, Jim Gorham, Pam McIntyre, and Liberty Powers. So now I'm going to ask and say something to the members of the Board of Trustees. You have been elected and you have said yes to be trusted leaders of this beloved community. Today, the congregation offers you their blessing and their hopes that throughout this year, you will be guided by compassion and integrity to sustain this beloved congregation and promote its values and mission. Today, I charge you and commission you to lead with vision, to make decisions in the best interest of the well-being of the whole, and to stay in close relationship with the members and leaders of this congregation. And in turn, I charge the congregation to give thanks frequently, thanks to these members who have accepted your election to leadership. I charge you to offer them respect and understanding, to support them in the hard work they do on your behalf, and to remind them often of how important their well-being is to the health of the whole community. And so I ask the board now, as we thank you and bless you, will you promise to take care of yourselves, to let us know how we can help, and to continue to hold us all in your care and trust throughout the coming year? And please respond saying, yes, we will.
Yes,
Yes, we will.
Thank you.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
In case you haven't been outside, you may not have noticed that autumn has really come. And so we have a reading today about autumn. Let us take note. We arrive at the autumn equinox. We stand at a pivotal center in the turning of the seasons. We stand at the threshold, turning away from the brightness of summer solstice and looking towards the long night of winter solstice. This week, each one of us shall pass over this equinox threshold as we enter the dark half of the year. We balance in the equilibrium of day and night. This is the time of sunset, the time of gathering, of drawing in, of celebrating the riches of the second harvest, and of preparing for the night and for the winter to come. And as the growing season ends, and as the seeds fall and sink into the dark earth to be nourished until the spring, so we give thanks for the riches of the earth and the riches of our own lives. We balance in the center betwixt abundance of light and want of it. Balance lasts but a moment. Let us rest in that center for a moment.
Water my blood. water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit, earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit, earth my body.
Join me now in a spirit of prayer and meditation. O love, O life, in the midst of our troubles and sorrows, may we also know the sweetness of life and savor all that is good in our world. May the excitement and joy of new beginnings give us the energy to face the hard times, the worries and the despairs. May we find the presence of the breath to be a source of comfort, hope, and renewal. As we breathe in, may the power of inspiration flow into our bodies and souls. And as we breathe out, may we spread loving kindness with the world around us as an expression of our capacity to give life. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out.
Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, Zauch. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They're in the rustling trees. They are in the groaning wood. They're in the crying grass. They are in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to things and to beings. Listen more often to things and to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, Zauch. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead have a pact with the living. They're in the woman's breast. They are in the wailing child. They're with us in our homes. They are with us in this crowd. The dead have a pact with the living. So listen more often to things and to beings. Listen more often to things and to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, 'tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, 'tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, 'tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, 'tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the water. Tis the end.
Friday evening, my phone sent me a signal, like an emergency storm warning signal, but it wasn't a storm. It was a text from my daughter. Ruth Bader Ginsburg had just died. It took my breath away. She died just as the sun was setting, even as Jewish folks were lighting Shabbat candles at the beginning of Rosh Hashana. A Jewish teaching says, those who die just before the Jewish New Year are the ones God has held back until the last moment because they were most needed and most righteous. She died just 46 days before the presidential election. Friday night, all these thoughts rushed in. And for the next hour or so, I was caught up in my own emotions and with many stories that I was following on TV and other media. And after about an hour, I realized I had not taken a single deep breath. I needed to breathe again, to begin to come back, to think and feel again, and to face the new challenge that all of us were encountering. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. I spend a fair amount of time thinking about breathing. In my 20s, I was in a Buddhist Dharmadhatu for a number of years, and our meditation practice was simply to follow the breath. When your mind wanders, don't reprimand yourself. Just go back to observing the breath coming into the body and leaving the body. Practicing for hours and hours of coming back to the breath. You know, at the beginning of life, every moment of life, and at the end of life, breathing is what matters. I've had 3 babies, and I can tell you that in childbirth, how you breathe is so important to the laboring process. You need to remember to breathe in and out, and you have to remember to do it in a way that you don't hyperventilate. Getting that baby to take its first breath is such a momentous event, and then watching the breathing ever after. And then at the end of life, we grieve the end of breathing. And on our grief, we, the living, need to remember to keep breathing in and out. Whether it's the horror of a person's breath being crushed out of him by violence, or the gentle, slow dying of a beloved elder as their breathing gets slower and shallower. Our emotions and our capacity to respond, to be present, requires us, the living, to keep breathing. I know for many of us, losing Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a great sorrow, both to lose her and to fear how she might be replaced. And the deaths of people afflicted with coronavirus is so deeply tragic. More than 200,000 now in this nation alone. And the 4 centuries of unjust deaths of Black people still happening due to racism in all of its forms outrages us. With every emotion around breathing, remember, breathe in and breathe out. And it takes practice. It takes practice to do it well, believe it or not. Singing helps me. If you have the right kind of breath to support your singing, you know that it makes a difference in the sounds you make, and the singing itself centers your breathing and your emotions, and everything has a pathway to travel through the sound. Athletes and dancers have always known that they need good breathing techniques to support and direct their muscles. Holding a yoga pose often depends on becoming centered by good breath control. And if you don't find your center, you can't keep your balance as you seek to stretch out to reach new horizons. That kind of breathing takes practice. A few weeks ago, my 2-year-old grandson really surprised me. He had gotten very, very angry about something, and before I could even start to comfort him, before he got into a tantrum, he started singing a Daniel Tiger song. When you feel so mad and you want to roar, take a deep breath and count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he was fine. Now, for those of you who don't know, Daniel Tiger is an animated children's show based on Mr. Rogers' Land of Make-Believe. That wise teacher, Mr. Rogers, he has gifted 2-year-olds with wisdom that all of us can use. Counting, breathing, giving us time to recenter, to calm the anger or the fear or the passion, which may be your first reaction to hard times, to difficult people. To breathe deeply into a form of kindness that Buddhists call compassion. To breathe deeply, to be centered into yourself so that you can be present to and kind to others around you who may be out of balance, angry, out of breath, and in need of a compassionate guide to help them regain their balance. When you feel so mad and you want to roar, take a deep breath and count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you feel centered and renewed, and others around you will feel like they want to be with you too. The notorious RGB spoke of her belief in balancing the fire of passion with the inspiration of life-giving breath. Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, "Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. So living in a congregation gives us plenty of chances to practice how to breathe and how to be compassionate and kind with one another. When others get mad because of their strong beliefs, or when you get mad for real reasons, try it. Try breathing and counting to 4 before you react. Don't try to conquer immediately. Instead, breathe in and out, give yourself balance and a renewed sense of compassion, and your response will be kinder and more likely to help a conversation flow rather than just blow up. I'm starting a new small group, a covenant group, following Soul Matters themes and practices. The first session, if we get enough people to participate, will be Tuesday, September 29th in the evening. You can sign up online. It's specifically for people who want to learn techniques of listening, of balance, so they can be facilitators in conversations that deepen compassion. It's not quite like counting to 4, but it is a chance to practice kindness to renew your equilibrium. Equilibrium. It is the time of equinox in our solar system. And it's the time of the new year for Jewish people, who will spend 10 days appreciating the sweetness of life, but also reflecting on all that has gone wrong in the past year, reflecting on how they might make amends. It's that time of year equilibrium comes, equinox, when light and dark balance, and we pause and we balance and we look back at all the trauma and drama of the past year, and it's been quite a dramatic and traumatic year. And we center ourselves before the new year takes us into what I fear is coming, new dramas and new traumas. So in this moment today of balance, on this beautiful Sunday in September, let us breathe in and breathe out. Allow yourself to be renewed by that breath so that you will have the balance, the energy to face what is coming. The ebb and flow of life is continuous, like the waves of the ocean. So I encourage you to go with the energy of that flow, in and out, resting and moving. And here's some really good news. This renewal that's offered to us by breath can actually be ours at any time of the year. The Buddhists will tell you that in each breath there is both the hello and the goodbye, because every moment is in fact a moment for Happy New Year, because the present moment exists only in the present, and each moment dies even as the next one is being born, like the breath coming and going. So perhaps by letting yourself see that the arrival of each new moment is a new beginning, each breath is a new start, perhaps that will make you feel not so fearful, because you know there is another new start coming. And by seeing the power of breath, of new moments, maybe we can be freed from fearful, shallow breathing that keeps us from feeling totally alive. So take a deep breath, a new breath right now, and say hello. We are all trying to find balance in this world. In this time when so much feels unbalanced, out of balance, unknown, risky. Remember, balance is something that you constantly have to be practicing. It's not a permanent thing that you can gain and hold on to with a tight grip. Balance is the recognition that things are continually flowing in and out. The breath is coming and going, the ebb and flow, the back and forth, the tears and smiles. That is balance. That is life. And in the midst of the storm, we knowing that we can find balance will help us moving into the unknown. There's a lot of unknowns. The world is facing unknowns. The nation is facing unknowns. And this congregation itself is not sure of what's next. So I encourage you all, through whatever is coming, to remember to keep breathing. Take deep breaths so you can be inspired. That's what inspired means, breathing in, inspire. Take in the spirit, find power in your center, and then share it by breathing out your love and your compassion. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. Deep breaths will help you keep your balance. Deep breaths and singing clearly will help you share what is in your heart with the whole world. Keep breathing and keep singing and keep your balance, because the world needs it. We need you. We need you to keep singing. May it be so. I offer a benediction as we end our time of community worship. My wish for you is that you find the balance to breathe in what inspires you and to breathe out the expression of your love. If in our time together you have found comfort or hope, share it with others. If you have found connections, offer that to others. And if you have found questions or uncertainty, Invite others to help you find the answers that will keep you breathing into this mystery. We extinguish our chalice flames even as we hold its warmth in our hearts. Peace to you who must leave us now.